Konnichiwa. Welcome back. As you noticed, I'm trying to learn Japanese, so there'll be a few phrases interspersed with the build again. So we're back in the shop. It's 38 degrees. I'm bundled up, and I'm going to try to get some stuff done before I freeze up too much. Got my little heater on that normally I only use out here when I'm trying to dry epoxy or cure epoxy, and then I'll put it inside the boat, as you've seen before, with a tent over it to contain the heat. Well, I need to contain the heat in the shop here because it's still we've had about a week of under freezing weather, so I never thought I'd say I'll be glad when it rains again here in Seattle, but I will be glad when it rains. So let's get back on. Let me reset up here with a little closer view, so than it was the last time, and you can see my face now. So we'll come back with a new setup, and we'll start. I'll give you a little bit of history in what we did, and then we'll start on the using the batten to loft up the curves. So let me reset up here. As you remember, we used our tape to mark off our 12-foot grid lines on both sides. Then we took our straight edge and drew our line connecting each side. Then we took these, and that's as close I'm ever going to get these things back to the camera again. I took the measurements that we have on our sheet and measured down our downs from the top edge, factory cut straight edge, whatever it said for the first station line, the number one station line, and we marked those. And we circled them as to what they were, and we marked the station line as to what it was. This was marked station line 1. We did the same thing with the transom. We did like I said before, I had my downs and overs. So we measured down from the top for one mark, and over from the very end to the next mark. And that's where that crosses, and that's the bottom end of the transom, and then measured up, and it's a 0 offset from the edge. And then that's that mark right there. So now we'll come along and I'll put my brad nails in on each one of these marks. Is this one in? Yes. I'll go ahead and put these top one ends, even though I'm going to be concentrating mostly on the bottom one right now. Okay, so you can see what I'm doing. Each one of these marks I'm putting the brad nail in that will fold this batten around. Let me set up on the end here so you can see me going down, setting the rest of them. Remember in the last one I told you I was going to show you my little Japanese draw saw, and this is what it is. And I just bought a new blade and stuck it in today, so I got to be careful. These little blades are really sharp, so a lot sharper than the one I replaced. So I got to watch myself that I don't cut myself with this guy. But I'm going to use this. I'll probably use the jigsaw on the two side panels here, because I've got 8mm, 2 4s stacked on top, and that'll be a little too much work. But I'm going to use this on the bottom panel, because it will give me a better line. And as you saw me the other day, it didn't take, I don't know if I'd even spent a full hour doing all the layout and offsets. The way I do this for you is pretty simple. And this boat, being how is it's using only 8-foot sheets and there's no scarfs or finger joints involved, it's a pretty quick hull to assemble. But with the temperatures they are in the shop now, I wouldn't be able to do any epoxy. But I would be able to assemble the hull. Hanging over the end. Okay. Now we'll do the upper one here first. You want to put your batten so it folds down over the nails and not underside where you're having to pull them up. You get a better curve if you do it this way. And I'll put one clamp up here, and I'll come down and put one on the very end. And then I'll go along and see if you got any nails that are bent over. I mean, there's a little bit of gaposis in here, and then that can be from the batten itself. So I'll put a couple clamps on just to bring it in line. So those brought it in. This one's still a little off, but I'm happy with it. Look down to see the curve. Yeah, it's a better curve down there, and we're at station line 1, 2, 3, 4, station line 5. And I'll check it again. Yeah, it's a little under, so it was at a 16th reading, but I'm going to make a change as soon as I find a pencil. Actually, it's my red pen, and I'm 5. We'll change that. We'll round it up to an even number. And we'll pull the nail out and set it to that new number. There. Okay. Take a look down it and see how it goes. If you have a fair curve all the way through. Ah, there's my pencil. And then now we'll just do a light pencil mark. That was the only one that I felt that looked like it might need a little bit of adjustment. But you never know. We'll take off the batten now, and I'll go look down. Just kind of cruise down the line. You'll see if you get any projections or flat spots, anything that looks weird. I'm basically happy with that. I only had that one there, so let's go back and put the batten back on. And add our clamps again. Give it a good visual check. And another one here now that I've pulled the batten off and redone it. Looks like I got maybe I do. So let's measure this one again on station line 2. Okay, it measures what it says it is. I said it was such and such. and I put the nail in a little bit beyond that, so I'll leave that there. This one was measured wrong. So now I'm happy. We'll go in, take our pencil. I gotta figure out what the Japanese word for pencil is, and draw our line. And take our nails off. Okay. And I can go and pull them now. And there we have the arc of the top line. This will be the one we'll cut to. And let's go in for a closer look. You can see it. You can see each one of those station lines there. And it arcs off to the bow. I've got my nails in on this side also. I've got the batten on and clamp. Everything looks pretty good. I got one down here that is off of, and it's questionable, but I like the arc. And this nail is not quite vertical. I brought it in a little more, but still, I like the arc. Let's check station line. Was it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? It's close to what the computer said it was, so I'm going to do a light line and pull the batten off, and then we'll see what we got. So this is going to be just a light line. And we come down here and we're actually off pretty much right on the ragged edge of the plywood. Before we take this one off, there's something we have to do here also. I like this over a little bit, so we'll clamp it up again, and I'm going to change this measurement by about an 1/8 of an inch maybe. No. Okay. we'll go with that one. This will be off a little bit, but there's some leeway when you wire it up, which we'll come to later. You want after you wire it up and get it bolted, the panels in before we epoxy it. I'm going to flip it over, and then we'll walk down the line on the outside and see if there's any flat spots or gaps or whatever. So let me go ahead and officially do a finalized dark line here. And try to get you got the taper of the pencil, try to get the taper in so that the batten flat edge, it's, you know, in tight. I'm going to go ahead and pull the nails out, and then we'll do a look at this one. Now that we've got all this laid out, it's time to take off the spring clamps and put on some. I got some ages ago, I don't know, these things are probably 40, 50 years old now. Well, 40 years anyway. Little C-clamps, and put them outside the hull, you know, in places where they won't mar up the finish. Because you want to use these now that we have it marked out. The next thing we'll be doing is cutting out the hull panels, and so we want that in. I'll move it down here. We don't want these guys changing one iota in position. Before we could get away with having them loosely clamped, but now that they're laid out, okay. Let me reset up and I'll cut the ends off.